social media platform this morning at GTV Ghana. We want to provide quality content for you. We always constantly remind you to dial *447 *333 hash *447 *333 hash. Follow the prompt and pay your TV licenses. This morning is 36 Ghana cedis for 1 TV set and 2 or more TV set for 60 Ghana cedis. All right, and sport fan, Ghana football lovers, are you ready? The FIFA World Cup 2026 is going straight to the USA, Canada, and Mexico, and this is your chance to be there live. Nebis Gold's travel group, in partnership with Gold Star Consult, is taking passionate Ghanaian supporters straight to the world's biggest football stage to cheer on the Black Stars. Introducing the Ghana Supporters Travel Package. Everything is fully handled for you. We want you to focus on the excitement. So registration, your consultation, visa processing assistance, travel and health insurance, 3 World Cup match tickets, round trip, airfare, and internal transportation, 40 nights accommodation with breakfast and official Black Star jersey will be given to you as well. This initiative is officially accredited by the Ministry of Sports and Recreation. There's no stress, there's no hassle, it's just football, passion, and unforgettable memories. Choose from standard package, corporate economy, or corporate business packages. Standard package start from just $8,900 US, $8,900 US. Seats are just limited, please. So please don't wait for extra time. Call them now and book for your reservation. You can call them on 0537 804 885 or 0545 995 223. Or you can visit their website at www.ebisgoldtravels.com. You can walk in their office at Stockmono Estate Junction, same building as Cheesy Pizza. Ebis Gold Travel or Group says it is a golden experience, and let's take Ghana to the World Cup. So please be part of this transformation and let's all go to the World Cup and cheer on the Black Stars. And the time is now to play Round Lottery, the trusted lottery that gives you more chances to win big every single day. It's affordable, transparent, and rewarding. Round Lottery puts you first in every given opportunity. Now, yes, the best part you should consider all the time. With 3 daily draws, never get to miss a chance. Start your morning with exciting morning draws. Keep the thrill alive and known. We'll start mid the games and close the day and start with the Anajo Star Draws. That is 3 opportunities we're giving to you. No day is being left out. From Monday to Sunday, you want to turn your dreams into reality. So don't wait at all, whether it's building down your home, supporting your family, or chasing your personal goals. Round Lottery is the best lottery to stake. Join thousands of winners across the country this morning and make your dream a reality. So today, Friday, let's look at the Friday opportunities you can stick. You have the Sika Kese Star Friday, and Friday Anajo Star, Sika Kese Star Friday, and Friday Anajo Star. You know it is Friday, so please stick and let's get some bonuses for ourselves for the weekend as well. And Marty will be sitting with the ladies for the headline discussions this morning. But before I hand over to her, let's see what the various newspapers are saying this morning. All right, so the Daily Graphic newspaper is our first paper on the front page, and it's saying SHS double track ends in 2027. 50 SHS to be upgraded. President Mahama assured. So yesterday was in our news. So 30 grade B schools are going to be upgraded to grade A, and 20 grade C schools are going to be upgraded to grade B schools. All right, and reject Goldfields lease extension for Tarkwa Mine. IEA urges government authorities on page 13 of the Daily Graphic newspaper. And 61,506 candidates to sit for CT VET exam. The story is on page 13. And MTN Ghana marks 30 years of service, pledges connectivity, investments, national growth, and initiative. So the story too is in there. So detail and more of these stories you'll find in the Daily Graphic newspaper this morning. The Chronicle this morning too is saying IEA talks tough. Ghana must take control of Tarkwa Mine when the lease expires next year. And deport poverty rights modernized. And those of us that didn't do our quiet time this morning, Job 33 verse 3 say, my words are from the uprightness of my heart, and my lips speak knowledge sincerely. So detail and more of these stories you'll find in there as well. Right, the Daily Guide is also saying MPs arrest in Amsterdam, FBI issued warrants in April majority. The story too is on page 3. That's Ohene Kwame Frimpong, MP for Asante Achem. And Baumia positions MPP youth for 2028 victory. The story is on page 6 in the Daily Guide. And Yoko detains Dr. Silge wife over MIIF probe. The story too is on page 6 in the Daily Guide newspaper this morning. All right, probably the newspaper. The Daily Searchlight this morning is also saying more drama in Rank divorce. Joanna Quay slaps Rank with injunction on company shares and multi-million assets. So detail and more of these stories you'll find. So that's the big one on the front page of the Daily Searchlight newspaper this morning. The Informer is also saying Bawumia rallies youth for 2028. The story is on page 3 of the Daily Searchlight. And EU urges Ghana to sustain stability. And Ghana marshals diplomatic firepower over detained NP. Affair marking at a forcing clash over value for money Office Act. The story too is on page 5 of the Daily Searchlight newspaper. Notumfor draws battle line. House of Chiefs has no power to install chiefs. So Notumfor's picture is in there as well. So detail and more of these stories you'll find in the former. BNFT, IEA Chamber of Mines splits over Tarkwa lease extension. The story too is on page 3 in the BNFT. And employment export concentration failing to create enough jobs despite record trade performance. The story is on page 3 in the BNFT newspaper this morning. The Daily Gist is also saying value for money office is cover for corruption. I think Markin slams new law. And how Asante Achim North MP was busted at Amsterdam airport and the inside story. So if you want to find more detail of these stories, you should purchase the Daily Gist newspaper this morning. And NDC wants Musa Dankwa over cooked polls. Anyways, Bawumia rallies MPP supporters against intimidation. The story too is in there as well. And upon Nkrumah Defense Policy Committee, Carlos Ahenkra targets MPP National Treasurer position and hits exchanges at Eduboahen's 49 million Ghana cedis trial. So if one can find more stories, the Daily Gist newspaper. All right. So this and many more stories you'll find in there. When go online, various platforms, you'll find interesting stories making the headlines this morning. Mal Titi is already seated with the latest to delve deeply into the stories making headlines this morning. You know how it is on a Friday with the ladies alone. Mal Titi, good morning.
The government spokesperson, Mr. Felix Kwakye-Fosu, said the president had earlier directed that the report be studied in detail to give the government's response to the proposals made to the Constitutional Review Committee. According to him, that work has now been completed and Cabinet will meet to take a final position on the recommendations. Mr. Kwakye-Fosu explained that the outcome of the meeting would determine the government's official response to the various proposals under review, adding that the approved document would later be made public for citizens to understand the government's position. Mr. Kwakye-Fosu further noted that unlike a commission of inquiry, the Constitutional Review Committee requires not a white paper but a position paper from the government. He explained that the cabinet meeting is focused mainly on the Constitutional Review report, although other matters might also be considered. He said once Cabinet approved the document, government would move to the next stage of implementation, which would include the setting up of an implementation committee. He indicated that the proposals would be assessed individually, where some would be accepted and others modified, while some others still would be rejected based on feasibility and other considerations. He concluded that the government would engage the public further once Cabinet concluded its deliberations.
The breakfast, the Friday edition of the headlines. I am Altitude Saida Sadiq. And you know how we do on Fridays, as Alensha said, we'll bring you the perspectives of the ladies who sit at the table. They represent the various political parties and sometimes they represent civil society organizations, and they will give you their thoughts on the big issues. Friday climaxes all the big things that's happened over the week. If yesterday you watched the show, you'd have seen I and Valerie talk about BEC, cheating, and all of that caught in the fray. And what has been big also in Ghana is the African Athletics Championships and how some of the athletes have been speaking. The NSA also addressing the media and Ghanaians on what it is and what it is not with regards to housing and food rationing and all of that. Also, we've seen the Occupy Julobi House. We'll be talking about that this morning. Madam Bridget Otu and friends who have won the case against police brutality is big on the agenda this morning. GES congratulating BEC students who start for the exams. 43 teachers arrested for exam malpractice, assisting students to cheat. University of Ghana publishing names of students who cheated in exams as well. And also the big issue with a cabinet deciding on the constitutional review recommendations. You heard from the Minister of Government Communications, the Honorable Felix Kwakye Ofosu, speaking there. And we know that when this government came into life, or this administration, they put together a constitutional review committee and they went around the country soliciting for ideas, information, perspectives and thoughts on what should change in the constitution and what should stay, because we have had civil society and the generality of Ghanaians call for our constitution to be re-looked at for this 21st century and to be able to meet what Ghanaians expect that it should meet. And so the Constitutional Review Committee is what we'll talk about this morning and what Cabinet is deciding on, what are the decisions that will be made, the review proposal submitted by the Review Committee, and the position of the draft paper, which has already been prepared after extensive review by the Attorney General and the President's legal team. And so all of this is what we'll be looking at this morning. My ladies will be joining me shortly. Let me let you know that you can reach us on WhatsApp 055-556-1034, on social media at GTV Ghana. We're streaming there. There's a story also of the call-off of strike. The National Labour Commission directed striking workers of the National Identification Authority under the Public Services Workers Union to immediately call off their ongoing industrial action. And the directive follows a meeting held yesterday between the Commission, the Union, the National Identification Authority, and Fair Wages and Salaries Commission over delays in the implementation of migration reports tied to workers' conditions of service. So labor issues there. I did cite a story about NHIA as well and claims and how it's tied to free primary health care and payment of NHIA's claims to the various facilities. So these and many more we'll be talking about this morning on the show. If you have been following the news, you would have also seen that the Health Minister, Mr. Kwabena Minta Akando, directed the immediate deployment of 3 doctors and 5 midwives to the Kaswa Mother and Child Hospital after the unannounced visit. Now, this was a hospital that 2 weeks ago a woman died when she went to have her baby because it was said that there were no beds for recovery after her cesarean section, and she has spent well over 30 hours with the CS not being done and unfortunately lost her life. And social media was in a frenzy, and so the Minister of Health constituted a committee to investigate that and come out with the findings. The Kaswa Mother and Child Hospital, and now he's directed the immediate deployment of 3 doctors, 5 midwives to the Kaswa Mother and Child Hospital to augment what I believe is the shortfall of the staff there. And he's talked about not attacking health workers as well in another leg of the discussion, who are trying their best to be able to provide government's free primary health care. Now, my ladies at the table this morning is on my immediate left, Awoke Kelly, who is with the NDC's National Communications team. She makes a return. Awoke Kelly, good morning. It's been a while. Hope you're well.
Yes.
Good to see you.
Yourself.
Well. Hajia Hamdatu, who is laughing and has, I believe,
trouble for me this morning.
Something to say about Awo's absence here. Hajia Hamdatu is the former chairperson of CPP, and she makes a return to the table. Hajia, good morning to you.
Good morning. Please. I'm the former acting chairperson.
Former acting. Okay, so we left the acting out. Yes, please.
Hey, they say why they not adding acting to my...
Okay. Former acting chairperson.
Chairperson.
Oh, don't mind them, Graham.
It's former acting chairperson. That's fine. Ellen Amadeko, we're expecting her at the table. She'll be speaking for the MPP side. She's the special aide to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who's flag bearer for the party. Ladies,
I don't know whether that will add vote to us.
Issues.
Vote to what?
Big issues this morning, Hajia. And I know that you have a lot to say. I'll begin with the Constitutional Review Committee. If you have seen the post-cabinet conversations or them even going into cabinet to look at a review, what the reviews have been by the committee who have been canvassing around the country to understand what better way Ghanaians want to see the Constitution in this particular dispensation in the 21st century. Okay, Kelly, let me begin with you on this.
Yeah. Good morning, and good morning to viewers. Good morning to my big sis, Ajia.
Good morning, my runaway kid sister.
And
Power Sweet.
Oh, I won't say anything.
That's why she's missing. Power.
She knows that's not. She knows it better. Anyway, for the review, I think they are still in cabinet on that. So
right.
We have to wait till there is a finality on whatever will come out. And I just hope and pray that whatever Ghanaians want, as the committee went round, a lot of issues came up. I'm sure we will take some and leave some out. It's not everything that we can absorb as a nation and go with it. So we pray that the best will come out of this, and we'll thank the committee for a good work done. There are others who believe in some stance, others don't. But the last time we were discussing something, and I said that all our laws are still the Constitution. Because whatever happens, whatever it is, maybe we just have to stop enacting laws in our parliament and concentrate on enforcing it, making it better. Because whatever happens, when you go to Supreme Court, they will tell you that this is what the 1992 Constitution says. And it's the paramount book we have in this country. And it's so big, it's so voluminous that everything else, we have the laws in this country, but what we've really not been able to do as a nation is the implementation. Absolutely. And the oversight of it, making sure that whatever is in the Constitution, we follow it. We quote laws, we quote everything, but it always ends up with the Constitution. So we pray that whatever cabinets will now come out with, as for the committee, they've done their work, and we appreciate them for the good work. Ghanaians have spoken, and opinion leaders, chiefs, and all those people we need to hear. A whole lot of things people believed were not right with the Constitution, and some that were overdone. And that's where those that were not done properly. So we pray that this time around we come out with a better one. And we can still also go back to another review. But we hope that this one will serve us better than the 1992 one did. And we pray that cabinets will come out with the best for the nation.
Ajia.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to my good sister. And good morning to our cherished viewers out there, especially the members of the Convention People's Party. You know, the CPP is reconstituting the leadership, and the regional chairmen have taken over. They've appointed 5 people to strategize on the way forward for the Convention People's Party. So, Ms. Opariado, day in day, Nana Tumi, Gallo, I salute you this morning because the Central Committee has mandated them to work for the CPP. So if you see anybody saying, I'm this, I'm that, just take it with a pinch of salt.
Okay.
Because the Central Committee has that mandate, no other group in the party. Constitutional Review Committee.
And Aja, just before you go on, let me mention some of the things they are looking at.
Okay.
5-year presidential term limits.
Okay.
That's one of the key proposals.
Once or twice?
For the amendment. One key proposal from the committee is the extension of Ghana's presidential term from 4 to 5 years. The committee argued that the current tenure does not allow sufficient time for governments to effectively implement policies. And so emphasizing that the proposal is intended to enhance governance efficiency and deliberately exclude any provision for a third term. So it's intended to enhance governance efficiency and deliberately exclude any provision for a third term. Now, also the cap on ministerial appointments. The committee proposed the imposition of strict limits on the size of government, recommending amendments of Article 78, Clause 2, to significantly reduce its size. Under the proposal, the total number of ministers of states, including deputy ministers and regional ministers, would not exceed 3 times the number of cabinet ministers. And with the Constitution already capping cabinet ministers at 19, under Article 76(1), the total number of ministers across all categories would therefore be limited to 57. These are the proposals. Including regional, yes, regional ministers. So let's say 16 regions, 16 regional ministers, and the rest of it, of the 57, are the ministers and deputies. Then an end to MP to minister appointments. The committee proposed an amendment of that Article 78(1) would prohibit any sitting member of parliament from being appointed as a minister of state. The contention is that they are not getting much time for their constituency. Absolutely. Some have also said that that influence rather even helps them also court whatever they can for their constituencies. So like a double-edged sword. But which one outweighs the other is what the review committee will be looking at, I believe. So end to MP to minister appointment. Reduce presidential age limit from 40 to 30 years is another recommendation. Yes.
30 years.
Yes. To contest the presidency from 40 years to 30 years. The committee argued that amending Article 62B of the Constitution to allow younger citizens to contest the highest political office in the country will remove age-based barriers that limit access to leadership opportunities.
I'm with that.
Yeah, with the age limits. Okay. Yeah. By 30. Africans seem to gravitate towards, elderly presidents. But
where did it take us to? So let's try the
okay.
you two to see. You see, one thing I want the current president, because he constituted the review committee to review the Constitution. And what I pray for is for this, most of the recommendations there should be implemented. Okay. I quite remember when His Excellency, the late Atta Mills, he also constituted a review committee. There were recommendations. And then that time, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama took over, and we didn't see any implementation of any recommendation by that committee. Maybe he has sat down to see that maybe there is some kind of merit in whatever the
previous committee,
Professor Fiajo's committee, that, because if you look at the terms of reference given to the current one, they said they should look at all the recommendations of the previous committees. So I think it is a work in progress. And I pray and hope that what we kneel to the benefit of Ghanaians, not just wholesale. The last time, I think it did not work because we sort of put cluster certain recommendations under one. Maybe if I don't believe in LGBTQ, I'm giving an example, and it's put under maybe age limit for presidential, and then I go for it. But meanwhile, I don't know that down there are certain things that you see. That was what I think what happened. I'm not saying. I'm just giving it. I'm just giving an example.
Okay.
So for me, if you put some people together to work as a committee and brings a recommendation, I think that recommendation must be looked at, because else, if we don't implement or if we don't do anything about the recommendation, it will come to a time, if you form a committee, people will just say, oh, it's just the same thing. people, the committee will just sit down, bring their tea, bring their recommendation, and then the one who is supposed to implement might not even issue any white paper to say that maybe this and that we agree with, we can implement, and this we cannot implement.
Okay.
This MPs, ministers thing, there's nothing like because maybe you be a minister, you can influence certain decisions to your constituency.
Right.
It's because of the way we see parliamentarians and then the way the parliamentarians also carry themselves. They are not development agents. They are not.
Okay.
That's why we have the MCs and we have the DCs and assemblymen and women. So if we are able to educate our people that MP or Shemra, they go to look at our laws and then recommend the laws and they will implement them. But if you see an MP going to promise, I'm going to construct the road, I'll build you market, and so that's why the demands comes on them. So I think if they decouple that from, maybe if you're a minister, be your minister.
Okay.
If you're an MP, be your MP. Because even if you're an MP and then you are a minister, and certain decisions in parliament, maybe you are not happy with it, you cannot go against it because maybe the next time the president will say, I've fired you. As a minister. But if you are your MP, you are doing your work as a legislature. Nobody can call you to order.
Right. You are elected by
your people. But as for ministerial position, the president can appoint you in the morning. By evening, he can disappoint you. So I think that, and then the other one, I don't know whether they recommended whether the age is...
The age limits, the presidential...
No, I mean the Attorney General and Minister of Justice. I don't know whether
there should be separation.
I don't know whether.
No, I'm not seeing it here, but
and then the election of MMDCs, we are for it because if you are elected MC, you will not go and be fighting your MP because if you don't help to build your district or bring improvement in your district, there's a possibility you will not be elected again. So your eyes will not be on the MP, fighting the MP, thinking that you want to do this because you also want to be an MP, you'll be fighting the MP. So I think that should be looked at.
Okay, the referendum.
It's very, very important. It's very, very important. But they shouldn't just put everything together and then say we should go on referendum and then when it comes to the presidential...
age limit.
No, not the age. The term. Maybe because we have a young democracy. Because democracies that are looking at 4 years, democracies that have lived for over 200 years, over 100 years. Okay. So maybe in our part of the democracy, it's a young democracy. So maybe if they say 5 and 2 terms, which is 10 years, I don't see anything wrong with that. And some people too argue that if whatever you want to do in 4 years, you should be able to do it. I'm not sure. Because look at what is happening now. Look at what is happening now, even with the NDC. We have a situation whereby it's just 1.5 years. And there are agitations. People are saying they didn't get work. And people are also saying that somebody is campaigning. Somebody is distracting the president and so on and so on. If the president have 5 years, and he's in second year and somebody is doing something, right, the person will not look there. Because he knows he has some 3.5 years to go. But in this case, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has only 2 and some few months to go. But his attention will be divided because full soldiers are calling that this person or some people have declared their intention to succeed him and so on and so forth. So for me, I will go for it because at least even if you get the 5 years and you want to do everything right, you can do it within the 5 years. And maybe if you are voted out, you are voted out. Okay. But the 4 years, look at what we are experiencing now. If not because His Excellency is not going to seek for re-election, that would have been a total distraction. That is my opinion. Because this polls that comes today, tomorrow, when Musa Danko sleeps, the next day there's a
different poll.
Different poll. I don't know how they are even doing it. They are confusing both the MPP and NDC. You understand? They are confusing. No. You should understand the context in which I'm saying this. No, what I'm saying is that because how can you get up in the morning and say that 70% of MPP doesn't like their flag bearer? That is what I'm saying. He's just confusing everybody. For me, because we've seen
years of months
before.
Of work.
You see, we've seen which months? No, it's every week. Now it's every 2 weeks. There's a poll. Every 2 weeks there's a poll. So I think getting 5 years if I'm the president of Ghana, 5 years, I should be able to achieve key thematic areas that I've set for myself.
Okay.
To succeed.
There's the Council of State Reforms as well. The committee proposed a return to its original structure as envisioned under the 1969 Constitution.
Not 66, not 60, no Commerce Constitution, but 66 Constitution. Yes, proceed,
okay.
I'm listening.
There's also 10-year non-renewable term for the EC boss and the deputies. A key proposal being an amendment to Article 223 of the 1992 Constitution to provide a commissioner and each deputy commissioner of the EC shall hold the office for a single non-renewable term of 10 years or until attaining the age of 65.
Because I was going to ask that question, because what if the person is 60 and maybe the retirement is 65 or 70?
And it also says
10 years.
It recommends also that the former commissioners and deputy commissioners are barred from holding any public office for 3 years after leaving their positions as EC boss and deputies. This is the recommendation for that.
Hey.
I don't know if any of them have piqued your fancy, but Amma has introduced herself, so let me introduce her on the show now. Helen Amma Derko is special aide to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. She speaks for the MPP's communications team. Amma, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Welcome to the table. Introduce yourself well with polls. Is there any polls you want to talk about this morning?
No.
Okay, it was Hajia. How?
Yes, for me, I think when they came out with their findings before now, I said that I don't really care about the term the president will go for. Whatever Ghanaians want should be given them, and the good one at that. For me, when you look at President Mahamad's first term, within the 4 years, he was able to do a lot. But on the other hand, we also saw a whole lot of things like party issues, because you want to go for an election again, re-election, especially, like I just said, we thank God that the president is not going for a re-election. So at least he can be more focused on what he's doing and the work he's supposed to do for the people of this nation.
Right.
But for Parliament, I'm for it. Because we have a lot of people now into politics working for the parties. You go to Parliament, you're a parliamentarian, you are a public figure, you are a big man in quotes. So let the other positions also go for others. And if the president, we promised 60 ministers, and we have, how much? And we have 57, I guess.
Yes.
And we're still doing well. I think we can maintain that, because sometimes all these petty things, we don't really value them. But there are a lot. That person needs a PA. The PA is paid. And we've seen in this country where PAs have PAs. And a whole lot of things. You go into offices and there are a bunch of people and all that. So at least cutting down on some of these things, their V8s, their accommodations, because whatever it is, we have to take care of them as a nation.
Right.
So when we cut down on it, all those monies can be channeled into something proper, where we see Ghanaians benefiting from the government, rather than we sucking their blood dry, and we expect them to tighten their belts, whilst ours is loosened, because we have a big number of appointees. We were told in the past that we need a whole lot of work to be done, but we saw nothing. But we saw a whole lot of ministries popping up, agencies, and nothing really came out of all those things. For me, I'm for that. I'm for the terms. I really don't know. I don't have a specific. The age, I have a little issue with it a bit, because you see, I was reading a book.
Years.
The 30 years. I feel it's too low. 40 years. We are still young.
Yes, but
even those of us who are 50
could be thinking like a 40-year-old.
I know. You know, some people are really mature. Look at my boss, Sami Jemfi. This is a great guy. If he wants to go for presidency, I think it's a good thing. But I don't know about others. But it's for the good people of this nation to decide, and it's not for me sitting here. I have my personal. I feel that the 30 years is too low.
Yeah,
Okay. And 40 years, we still youth. Even 50 years, we don't see ourselves that old. So for me, it is my personal this thing. But for me, every other thing that the committee saw
the EC boss.
The EC, for me, what is it?
10-year non-renewable term. So when you appoint them, they should spend 10 years.
They should spend time. I really don't know. So if the person is not doing well, we have a way of taking the person out.
I believe so.
So okay. So if there are provisions, for me, when people are doing well, at least allow them to continue. If they are not, there should always be a clause or something that can take the person out, so that at least we have continuity of something good that is happening to the nation. It shouldn't always be.
I don't know whether boards were discussed.
I've not seen boards here.
I doubt.
Maybe I will go for nobody should serve on more than 2 boards. Yes, that's one. And then this state-owned organizations that decide on their own pay.
Salaries.
So the salaries. It's another thing that is causing
because they generate their own
well, is it not Ghana establishment?
Anyway.
Maybe we'll talk about the extractive industry.
Yeah,
it's part of it because I have a serious issue there.
Okay, all right. Let me go to Ellen now. Amma, we're talking about the review. I always welcome you.
Don't mind her. She's made a face to you.
I'm sure she's missed you because she's been more around than you at the table. Yes.
I blame you people.
Oh,
it's you that don't come.
Raymond. The key highlights of the proposed constitutional amendments and the review. Cabinet has decided on, the recommendations. They had a special cabinet meeting to consider the recommendations submitted by the review committee. And Mr. Felix Kwakye Ofosu gave the hint about the meeting, explaining that a draft position paper has already been prepared after extensive review by the AG and the President's legal team. And I was reading to Hajia and Awo some of the recommendations: the 5-year presidential term limit, cap on ministerial appointments, an end to MP becoming a minister appointments, reduce the presidential age limit from 40 to 30 years, cap on Supreme Court judges is there as well, 10-year non-renewable for the EC boss and deputy, sole anti-corruption commission, I'm seeing also there, and tax on presidential emoluments and Council of State reforms.
I think the only place I have a problem is the age limit on the presidency. I think the 30 is okay. The 40 is okay.
Instead of bringing it down.
Instead of bringing it down. Because when you look at our system and how our politics work, by the time you hit 30 years, you're still, if you decide to be a full-time politician, you are still in the process. You are still getting yourself together. By 40, if you are serious about this, you should be ready to go. I believe 30 is a bit too young, because by the time you even finish university or tertiary education or whatever it is, you're already 24, 25. So just 5 years to prepare for a presidency. I think we should give it more time. So I don't agree with the 30. Apart from that, I think everything else is fine, depending on what comes out of it and how we are going to regulate it.
Right.
One of the things that I am happy about is the fact that we will not make MPs, MPs cannot be ministers. That also would then feed into the president having 50 ministers. Because if the MPs are not ministers, it means a president would have the opportunity to pick 50 people who are going to be solely committed to him and working with him.
Okay, that includes the regional ministers.
Everybody,
deputies.
50 people who are not going to have to share their time between Parliament and the executive, because it is a tough job.
Well, they're not doing it well.
Some of them do it very well, but then those are exceptional people.
Okay.
We are different.
How do you go to?
How do you the work of a parliamentarian, and that is why I don't find being a parliamentarian attractive. I don't because it's a tough job. It's a tough job. It's a sacrificial job. If you want to do it and do it well, you're going to give of yourself 100% to your constituency. How are you going to do that when you're also a sector minister? That also requires 100% devotion. So those who do it and do it well, well done. It's not an easy thing. So you realize that by the end of their term, whether 4 years or 8 years, they are exhausted. Some of them are sick because it just pulls so much out of you. And then it doesn't really augur well for our democracy, because we need to have the legislature independent and ready to work. So when you decide that you want to be an MP, you want to be a legislator, you train yourself for it. And that is when we are going to have people who are going to be MPs for 20, 30, 40 years, because they have done the job. And their constituencies trust them. They know they can do this. This high rate of attrition at Parliament would automatically end, because if you are not going in there to become a minister and you are just going in there to go and work as an MP, you have all the time to work with your constituency. And the constituents usually do not like changing
MPs like that.
You just go and listen to the reason why they change their MPs. He's not accessible. We can't find him. That's because he's busy with other state engagements. But where you decide to be an MP and you are still not accessible, even though you are not a minister, you have to work, that means you can't do the job. They'll vote you out. But for those who really want to do it, I think we should give them the opportunity to do this. For me, it's very important we do that, so that at least the legislature will have its own space and people can train themselves. Because in Parliament, the work is such that the longer you stay, the better you become. So people can train themselves. Then we'll have the executive. So a president is coming in. It is an executive presidency. That's what we run here.
Right.
So he comes in with his full executive, full complement, 100% concentration on the job of the presidency and the executive. And if you don't do it well, you don't bring the excuse of, I have to be in Parliament.
Yes. Where will he pick his ministers from then?
But every president is coming from a political party.
Okay.
He's coming there, political
so maybe
party is
MPs
huge.
who have left Parliament
Whichever,
now
it's up to the president. Our laws give the president the opportunity to pick from wherever he wants to pick, including Parliament.
Some people in public service who are good.
It depends on the president. If he sees somebody
who don't have to necessarily be MPs.
who don't even necessarily have to be politicians.
A party person.
Or pure party people.
Like the late President Mills. He wasn't a party
But when
person.
you have to deal with 50% of your parliamentarians, already your choices are weighted down to 50%.
Okay.
And then if you're going to stick with the 50, it means 25 would have to come from Parliament. Then the rest of the 25, how are you going to do regional balance? How are you going to do gender? How are you also going to do people's capabilities and specific, certain agencies and ministries need certain
kind of expertise. That's true.
How are you going to fit all that in the 25 that is left? But if we insist that we want to keep the MPs as part of the executive, then the 50 will have to drop it. Because President Mahama, I know, he went through a lot with his number. And he's still going through a lot. Because there are people he needs to bring on board. He can't, because he has to use 50% of the MPs. And some of these MPs too are overwhelmed. And they can't even speak about it. So I think we should look at that and then we can move on. As for the anti-corruption matter, so what does it mean? Is that we are going to combine the IOCO, we are going to combine, what is the other name? Prosecutor, what is his name? Special prosecutor. And are we going to...
It's proposing the creation and establishment of a standalone ethics and anti-corruption commission.
That is what I'm asking.
Aimed at rationalizing the roles of existing anti-corruption institutions and improving efficiency in the fight against corruption. So the proposed commission will consolidate anti-corruption responsibilities currently spread across bodies, such as the Commission of Human Rights and Administrative Justice, that's SHRAD, the Office of the Special Prosecutor, and related institutions to ensure better coordination and clearer accountability. So even the value for money office, I don't know if it will now be added
to this. Because tomorrow, Attorney General will need somebody, then you will go and arrest
I'm trying to say that. Are we going
there must be some synergy.
It has to combine all of them. And then we put them there. Then they are commissioners. We have to give them specific timelines. You are there for 10 years after that. Bye-bye.
Okay.
And then we also have to have code of ethics, what to make them as takers, because we shouldn't also give them absolute power.
Absolutely.
If you are there and you misbehave, we should be able to take you out.
Absolutely.
But we should also have something that also injuncts the presidency or the executive not to interfere in the term of office of those people. Because if there's a president or a presidency that feels that you are attacking us they'll take you out. So we should look at all those nitty-gritty matters, and then just make sure that since we have an opportunity now to do this constitutional review, we do it and we do it well. Because it's been almost 40 years. We haven't had a constitutional review. Whilst they're at it, in all the country put in the thing for the women. The gender affirmative action. I think in everything we do, we should find a way of putting it in there, because they'll still go and do this and still sideline us.
There are women on the committee, I believe.
It was part. Maybe it's...
Yes,
maybe
I don't have all right in front of me.
It was part when they were done with the work.
The committee has been doing expansive work. Ladies, I want us to move...
Before you go on, please, I forgot.
Okay.
Last Sunday was my daddy's 77th birthday. Yes, I'm celebrating the whole week, please.
I've seen that you've been celebrating since day one.
I have a good daddy. Let me celebrate.
77.
We celebrate
him.
Very handsome.
He's
77-year-old.
And she looks like the daddy. So
Daddy,
seriously,
happy belated birthday. Every day I'm celebrating. No, I have a very good dad. Me and my dad say you're different, but this is my daddy. And so let me celebrate. Let me thank him so much for everything he does for me. And
I'm mad.
On Sunday was also Mother's Day.
Yes.
And so I'm celebrating him double, because when my mommy passed away 14 years ago, and the last 14 years, Daddy has stepped in as a grandmother and a grandfather, including taking care of my boys for me when I have to step out. So on behalf of myself, my sisters, Kweku and Kweju, and their cousins, we say thank you. God bless you.
Yeah,
my father is called Kwesia Santideku. Okay. The first elder of Kasoa American Town SDA Church. Kasoa Central Region. It's important that
it's important. Please, they are listening. Let them know.
We are celebrating him with her.
So yes, we are.
I have come in contact with him.
Oh, okay, so
he's a good person.
She's a third generation SD.
She was Amma and her relationship with the church and all that is something else. But we have that in common. I'm my dad is the only parent I also have, and so he's done a lot by stepping in when my mom passed 27 years ago. So I feel what you're...
7 years ago.
27. I was 6 when my mom died. Yes. But ladies, I want us to move straight to one I know that Amma will be interested in again, is democracy and free speech under siege in Ghana. Dr. Bawumia, the former vice president, launched a scathing attack on the NDC's administration, accusing it of systematically undermining free speech and intimidating members of the MPP. Strongly worded statement released just this Wednesday, Dr. Bawumia expressed deep concern over what he described as relentless harassment, arrests and detention of MPP officials, activists and supporters since the NDC assumed office. I have observed with great concern the endless assault on the fundamental rights of officers, activists and supporters of the New Patriotic Party across the country. And by this, the NDC government is what he says is doing this. To support his claim, Dr. Bawumia cited the recent high-profile cases, including the arrest of social media activist David Esando and the remand of MPP Bono Regional Chairman Kwame Bafo, also known as Abronye DC, as examples of what he described as political persecution. In another breath, we've seen the Madam Bridget Otu winning the case over the police brutality and being awarded 150,000 cedis in damages as well, because she's a media person, and Dr. Bawumia is talking about free speech of members of the MPP. Your administration is accused of Rambo-style arrests, detainments beyond the time frame, according to the lawyers, that they are supposed to be held without hearing from their legal counsel. And now Dr. Bawumia is saying this again, and he cited some of these examples.
Yeah, I don't know about the Rambo-style arrests, because I've not seen one.
Is it a description of the Rambo style?
Yes.
How the arrests are going, you don't think it is Rambo style?
No. If you are invited and you don't go, and maybe the security agencies come to your house, I think it happens to anybody in this country, any individual. It doesn't matter who you are. First, they will invite you. If you don't come, they come to your house. Is that not what is done? So I don't know about the Rambo style. Rambo, I know they come with machine guns and all that. So
but the security will definitely go there with guns.
Also, security, they have to also make sure they are on the defensive in case anything happens. But I don't think they go there to do those things. That is out there. I don't think anybody is being gagged in this country. And so he has the right also as the leader of the MPP, if things are not right or he feels things that are happening are not what he's happy about. But I don't know. He has every right to maybe go straight to wherever he has to. And I don't know about the detention too. Because I know of Abronya because his name was mentioned. They were in court and he was detained. Is it not the right thing to do? The thing was in court. I don't think it's the police that detained them or any other security agency.
But he cited what Abronya did by speaking on radio, and that is the media. And so does it appear that nobody in the opposition can go on radio and speak to be picked up?
We all sit here. Has Amma been picked? She's an opposition member. No. I'm giving an example because I sit on air with her a lot. And she's my friend. Nobody has been picked. We've been in power since 2025 last year. And she still speaks. I've been on air with some of the MPP people. They've not been picked. What did he say? We've gotten to a point that we shouldn't just allow anything to just go. Even when we were in opposition, I used to say this. Me, I don't care who said what. But if you say something you didn't say it right, and you have to answer, because we have, as a nation, we have to get to a place whereby we have to do things civil. I don't think I'll be happy anybody come and sit here and make sure they run me down as a person. I won't let you go. If I have to report you to the police or to me, I have had a case whereby my sister-in-law misbehaved towards me.
And you had her arrested.
No, and she rather went to the police too because I insulted her. You were misbehaving towards me, and I said small thing. Even that one was not an insult. It was a truth. Something you did, and I have to bring it to truth. It was a painful truth. So she had to go and report me to the police. Then when we went to the police, I said, said you'll be going and say no, Yanka. And so was it an insult? So I was reported because the person was not happy with me. So in this case, if you do something and it's wrong, and maybe you were told this you did, or this thing that you said was you did not say it right.
I think that
why won't you just
fundamentally it's agreed that you can be picked up. You were also reported, you were invited, you went. But the treatment after you were picked up.
How are they being treated? Have we heard that they were not given food?
We hear that they are not able to speak to their lawyers even.
Were they beaten? No, I don't think.
For Baba Amando, they said they put him in a pickup. They drove all the way from Bono region, I believe, at the back of the pickup, handcuffed. These were the sentiments, or these are the sentiments. Amma will tell you.
Yes, for me, if you are picked up and you were not treated well, the courts are there. After you've been taken to court, I'm sure your lawyers too can speak in court against some of these things. For me, those are the things. So if they are not being treated well, then they can pick it up. But if you do wrong, I am sure you should also be humble enough and say I'm wrong. With this, I always speak about spiritual things because I believe in them. Whether black or white, I believe in it. I'm a Christian. I'm a church elder. And I believe in words that have effect on us. You sat on TV, whichever TV it was, insulted one of the men of God that we respect in this country. That's Archbishop Duncan Williams. You brought him down to the point that I've never seen the Archbishop respond to some of these things. But the man was so hurt, he responded to some of these things. I am one person, when I'm angry, my son will tell me, don't speak. Because as soon as I say it, it will happen. So as soon as I'm angry, my senior boy will tell me, mommy, don't speak. I remember one time he was going out, I said, what you will meet out there? And then within 5 minutes, he was out. He was back. And I heard him and the sibling said what he met on the way. So at a point, especially now that I know some of these things, I don't talk when I'm angry. So this is somebody who got so pained that he had to stand on his pulpit. For we Christians, our pulpits, I know what the pulpit has done for me before, and it still does. I go to my pulpit, I pray, and I get results. For a man of God of that caliber, that speaks and things moves in this nation, you can, oh yes. Oh yes. Look, there are certain things that these people do for this nation that we don't have any idea of. Because maybe we are in front line when it comes to our faith, get to know some of these things. You insult this man, called him names to the point that he has to stand on his, but you could see the pain in his speech. You could see, and I never heard any of our leaders in the MPP at least bring to the attention of Abronye, go to this man, apologize, or even the media you used, medium, go through the same medium, apologize to him, or go to him and apologize. And when things are happening, don't blame anybody. God has a way of punishing people. The devil also has a way of punishing us. Sometimes the devil even takes certain things to do. And words, hey, don't joke with it. Okay. If I were some of them, do the right things. Right. I don't think they are wrong in reporting some of these things or condemning it or speak about it. For me, if somebody is being not treated very well, is mishandled, they should talk about. Because I speak on air. I can one day sit anywhere and say something that might not be palatable for somebody. Okay. And then if these things are wrong, it can happen to me. Right. I will not be happy about those things. But they should also tell their people that you don't just speak because you have access to speak. Why is it that we sit and we don't insult people? Is it the right thing to do? Okay. We don't bring people down. Is it the right? Would you be happy if it's done to you? So we should sometimes also go beyond some of these things. Call people to also order. Let them know that they are wrong when they are.
Okay, let me bring in Hajia now. Hajia.
I will confuse me a bit.
Yeah, don't be confused. Me, I'm a researcher.
The way you spoke, you call it. It's like you are justifying or not justifying what is happening. Let me tell you. No, wait. Let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you one thing. We've endured insults in this country.
We don't have to.
Even our chief imam was declared dead.
Yeah, we don't have to.
You understand? And when even people were going to attack Osu Bempa that time, the chief imam said no. You understand my point? But even the Bible and the Quran speaks about forgiveness. So maybe if you are hurt because somebody spoke ill of you, and then you go and use your power to curse the person, or maybe say something that will have a ripple effect on the person, then where is the Muslim or Christian in you? You understand my point? Then where is the Muslim or Christian in you? You have to rather pray for that person to reform. Because some people, let me tell you, 80 to 70% of us, we just dress shantai. Then maybe there's something wrong with us. Our mental health. People don't know about that. We have to look about that and then stop the politics because this person is MPP or NDC or CPP. No. No. Abronye's style, I'm not for it. But let's face it, the guy was arrested. He was given bail. He traveled outside the country. And then somebody sat on TV to say, why should that person be released on bail? And even calling on the CID boss. If I don't hear from her, from my audience, I will deal with her. And is that not the one who is? No, I don't want to mention his name. This due respect something. That guy in the US threatening the CID boss, threatening the CID boss. But I did not hear anybody condemning the way he behaved towards our noble lady, because the CID boss, whether you like it or not, she's a decent woman. She is there on merits. I don't justify people insulting. Have you ever heard me insulting a president or a minister? No. Because that we should respect our leaders. Sure. We should pray for our leaders. You understand? So if Abronye has been taken to court and he's been refused bail, and the excuse is that they don't want him to go and sit and radio and talk again, I have a problem with that. Let him go and speak and you rearrest him. Okay. But don't preempt or predict what Abronye is going to talk about. No. For crying out loud, let's behave ourselves. The current president is a communicator. He respects people's freedom of speech. People shouldn't use his mouth and chew cola, and his mouth will be red. You understand what I mean? People shouldn't use because maybe they've gotten some position. They will do it in such a way that they paint the man who maybe is not interested in this black. So that is why His Excellency John Mahama, if he's watching now, he should check his this thing well, because it is not good enough. Even if we're ranked, the freedom of expression, I think that we have improved in our system. But if you look at what is happening, and then we're not discussing the big push, we're not discussing the things that the government is doing, but rather we are discussing the brutalities or maybe the mishandling of people perceived to be opponents. Then it puts us in a very tight corner. The people will not even look at the positive side of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, if he's listening to me this morning. Because me, as I'm sitting, I want him to succeed. He's a brother, I want him to succeed. But let him leave a legacy where people would say that, look, I'm a CPP person. PDA, people are still using us against us, saying Nkrumah was the best. It was for a purpose. But I cannot say that some people did not misuse that system. Okay. So that is what we should be learning from history.
That it affects the leader.
It affects the
whether
leader.
He was directly
whether
involved
it was directly or indirectly involved. So please, this judge, how can you say that? Because if you grant him a bail, he will go on radio again and talk. Let him go and talk. Then you have evidence that he has gone to do the same thing that he was arrested for. If you arrest Baba Amando from Sunyani and put handcuff and put him behind a pickup, why is he Atai? He's not Atai. You can allow him because he will not escape. Because he reported himself and then you brought him to us. So you bring him in a decent man. Because the resetting, my understanding of resetting is that when maybe during the MPP time, there are certain things that were done that were not right. Then His Excellency John Mahama, he's setting it right. That is my understanding. Okay. Not because maybe MPP also did this, they arrested this, that's all. That is why they were voted out massively.
What do you say to sentiments that they should speak to Abronye? And
no, as for that one, you know, now it's not that I don't have his number.
You used to call him?
Oh, no, yeah, you know, I have a sister in UK.
Okay.
That's her friend.
Okay.
You see, but for me, I'm sure, do you think they are not talking to him?
I'll ask Amma.
By all means, they'll be talking to him. For me, if Abronye is also watching, you should also look at his wife, who is a lawyer, his children. Because when he does that, he puts them in a very tight corner. When he was not well, it was the wife who went out with him for him to cool down. Maybe, who knows, now that he has come back, we should have allowed him some space to see whether he will go back to his former destiny. Maybe there was some change of this. You don't know. Maybe now that you've taken him back, you said, maybe my wife, my people put me somewhere, they advised me I was going to stop. But since I will continue. That thing too can play on his mind. So for me, let's correct people when they are wrong. Okay. And not to punish them. Because I'm getting worried. Else, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama's regime will be tagged as freedom of expression. I watched Joy the other day. The host was talking about the same thing. He was talking about the same thing. That the eyes does not see itself, if not by the reflection of a different object. We don't hate NDC. We don't. I have brothers, I have sisters, I have friends in the NDC. So if I pray for the NDC to not to succeed, what will I gain from it? Because if they don't succeed, it's the country that will suffer. Not only His Excellency, because he will not suffer, because he's the president, former president, he'll be enjoying all the luxuries. So that's why we say, pray for your leaders. So people who are appointed shouldn't take it as an advantage. I have an issue with this person, so I'll use my position to deal with the person. His Excellency Mama, you should look with him, and people should stop this. And you are a judge. Me, it's the judge that is really irritating me. For you to say that if you leave him, you go. And Baba Amando's case, you know, even the prosecution, the police, they were not even asking for him to be detained. Is rather the judge, don't you think he will interfere with how? Why do you do that? You are putting the appointing authority in a very bad distance. So these judges, they should stop it. Okay. They should stop it.
All right, Hajia. Thank you. Ama, I'll come to you now on what Dr. Bawumia has said about free speech and members of your party being arrested.
So anybody who knows Dr. Bawumia and has followed him in the last 18 years, since he was appointed to serve as the running mate for His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo, knows him as a very tolerant, as a very pleasant, as somebody who has a big heart for a lot of things. Dr. Bawumia is not the sort to even react when you insult him. And if we are looking at one person who has been insulted proper with his wife, other presidents also get insults, but usually their wives are spared. But as for Dr. Bawumia's wife, Hajia Samira Bawumia, that woman has been so insulted to the extent that if we are going to go into it, and the insults on Hajia Samira Bawumia was, sometimes when you look at it, was occasioned by female NDC members. Wow. They went to the extent of commenting about her dressing, about her makeup, and now they are in power. I see some of them in makeups. We'll come to them later. Those people will deal with them appropriately. Let's talk about Dr. Bawumia. But this is a country where we've been in the last 8 years. Okay. The NDC sponsored people to insult people in this country. And I'm saying it without fear, without favor, without equivocation. You paid Kelvin Taylor to sit abroad and insulted all your political opponents, and he's still insulting. You have given him so much authority and power that he came into this country. He was arraigned before court. You gave him security. You even gave him the vice president's residence to stay in. He went to court, and our Supreme Court told him to go away. He now has the nerve and the audacity to threaten everybody, including the CID boss. And we haven't heard from the president, we haven't heard from the vice president, we haven't heard from anybody. And you have the NDC thinks that they have the authority to talk about Abronye when he insults them. And so you are detaining him. This is a pure case of the kettle trying to advise. This is not even the pot, a plate.
And in this case, Ama, Abronye is with the MPP. Is Kevin Taylor with the NDC?
Yes, he is. Obviously.
He's a card-bearing member of the MPP.
Let us not go into. Let us not go. Please, let me finish. When they were speaking, you didn't interrupt. Okay. Let me finish.
I just wanted us to get that clear.
If he's not being paid by them, why does he go after? And he has gone after. Evidence. Don't even go there. I have. You hope I have what?
Evidence of not paying him.
Don't go there. He has insulted everybody. You are there. He insulted everybody for your benefit. For your benefit. And you protected him when he came here. So then let us go there about advising Abronye to stop insulting him. Don't even say it. Nobody should advise anybody. And I'm just serving you notice. My boss have served notice. Dr. Bawumia, as I said, as he is, for him to come out with this sort of statement, that should tell you that the man is tired. And at every point in time, he reigns as in. He reigns as in. When you were in opposition and you were insulting everybody, we told you that we have West people who will make life very difficult for you as a government if we decide to go on an insulting spree, which we haven't. Dr. Bawumia is controlling us. I am a typical example of somebody Dr. Bawumia has controlled, and he's still controlling. So today I'm going to behave myself very well. But I do not want to hear from any NDC person telling us to advise Abronye. We will not advise him. If he comes, if he like, keep him there for the next 3 years. He will still do what he wants to do. And we have enough Abronyes in the MPP. So let us rather try and be fair to everybody. You do not insult people in opposition, insult their wives, insult their family members. You come into power and you want to stop others from insulting you. You are feeling pained to the extent that Efando, that young man from is it Agona Swedru?
Right.
He's the constituency organizer for Aguna, either Aguna East or West, I have to check. Or, you know what his crime is? He wrote on his Facebook page, Dumsor is back again.
That's it.
That's it. And that warranted 3 Land Cruisers accosting him in front of his shop at around 4:35 p.m., bundling him off. Nobody knew where he was. His family didn't know where he was. The constituency and the regional executives had to call everybody, a national general secretary, a national organizer. They had to move from agency to agency looking for him, because I heard the day before or during the day he had been invited by the CID to appear before them the next day, which he said he will go with his lawyer. He hadn't even gotten ready to go. The next day hadn't arrived, and you people went to bundle him.
So he didn't refuse to go?
He didn't refuse to go. The time was not yet set.
Okay, I just wanted that.
He didn't refuse to go. They invited him, they gave him a time. Come tomorrow with your lawyer, because you have to come and answer for writing on your Facebook wall that Dumsor is back again. The young man said, yes, sir, I'll come with my lawyer. The day didn't even end. He went to pick him. And the party and his family members and all of us had to spend the whole night looking for him. Eventually, we found him with the BNI. What is his crime? He has gone to write that Dumsor is back again. If you are going to be arresting people for writing things on Facebook, Sami Jemfi, Broja Jemfi should be in jail. They went on demonstration and were chanting and shouting, Kum nanado maye ready, kum nanado maye. Did anybody arrest them? Did anybody arrest them? As I said, Dr. Bawumia is controlling us, so don't let us start. Otherwise, they will arrest all of us. They shouldn't let us start. Because we come to insults of our leaders in this country, the NDC takes lead. Some of us in the MPP think that we should give them boot for boot. Insult their leaders too. But of course, with the boss I have, he will not agree. He will not agree. So we have to force ourselves.
We should stop
so
it.
Please, let us all respect ourselves.
We should stop it. She's cutting all the instances where...
Somebody writing
the boss of them, they should stop that.
Somebody writing on Facebook something that you do not agree with doesn't mean that you should arrest the person. The NDC wrote a lot of things about His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo. He didn't arrest anybody. He left everybody alone. The Baba Amando gentleman, he is also the constituency communications officer for Sunyani, one of the Sunyani constituencies. All Baba Amando did was to also do a caricature of Sam George, Felix Ofosu-Kwakye, and the president on this LGBTQ matters. Do you want us to go and bring caricatures that current minister did, Sam George especially, did on Dr. Bawumia? What Sam George said about Dr. Bawumia and him being a Christian by day and whatever, that thing, that caricature that he did, are we going to be arresting them? Let's also remember that crime is not dated. So we are, as Dr. Bawumia said, those in the security agencies that they are using you for all this, governments will come, governments will go. You are there. We are keeping notice. We are keeping tabs. If this is what we want to do and be arresting people for Facebook posts and social media posts, meanwhile, last year you were arresting TikTokers. This government, last year you were arresting TikTokers. Now you are adding social media, Facebook page, they're all social media. You are adding Facebook posts to it. We have screenshots.
Okay.
Facebook, the internet that doesn't forget. So one day, when the tables turn and then we go back, I hope nobody will come and complain.
It must stop somewhere.
It will not
It must stop.
because we have moved.
It
Now
must stop.
Akufo-Addo stayed in this
We
country.
have to stop because
became president of this country.
You understand?
Endured everything. He didn't arrest anybody. So President Mahama, maybe if you are not speaking about it, we assume that you agree with all that, and you have sent them to come and do it.
Okay.
So Dr. Bawumia's statement is just right on spot. And for somebody who doesn't like doing this, for him to do this, that should tell you that it's getting up to here.
All right. And the middle ground, Ghanaians who are watching, and whether they want the equalization to continue, as Hajia is saying. Hajia is calling for a ceasefire of that. Ellen is saying that they may do boot for boot if it goes on like this.
That's if it goes on.
If it goes
so
on.
we don't pray that
like
it goes on.
I have to go.
For me, I don't believe in gagging anybody. I said it from the beginning.
You should talk to the people.
And
they are gagging.
I'm not the one who is arresting anybody. Sometimes I get to even hear about it from maybe social media and all that. And I don't look. Like Amma was trying to say all of. If you also want to go into,
you have done it already. You have done it already. You did it for 8 years.
That is the
you have done it.
The equalization
you have done it.
That's why there's a change of government.
Yes, and I said that.
Yes, you saw
for me,
I don't believe in this.
But we have to also start from somewhere.
They are trying to put the gentleman, the first gentleman of the nation. They are putting you in a tight corner. I'm telling you.
Sit on air and just say anything without any evidence or
without
evidence.
The evidence is the insult that you have received for 8 years and you are still receiving.
Who is receiving evidence?
Okay.
Even to the point
to insult,
and they have insulted, and they are still run away from this country.
They are still insulted.
Was he not
from a party
that out of this country?
That is
Raymond Acha and the rest. These are big journalists.
All right.
Raymond Acha,
we have to
XYZ.
go.
How many people were not arrested in XYZ?
And so what?
So
thank you.
So
ladies.
You are talking about people who are
for me, I don't
believe in it. But we should also know
that
for everything we do, we should be accountable.
All right.
So
thank
you
you.
can't just sit on that.
That's primarily what it should be.
I have said it.
We should all be accountable.
Then you also
primarily should be accountable. Hadia Hamdani for the CPP, Helen Amadeko, Special Aid Dr. Baumia, and our Kelly NBC National Communications Team. I'm out inside as we're back with Rosie.